Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Last week, we broke the story about LeBron James cheating on his wife. Now Akademiks is calling him out and it's going global. Well, this means 2025 is officially here. Katt Williams is back at it again, and this time he's accusing Jamie Foxx of being the new Diddy. They say the apple never falls far from the tree. Diddy's mom is being accused of hosting her own freak-off parties when Diddy was younger. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Monday morning, not our favorite day of the week, but the good news is I have a great show to help you get you through your day. All right, we have 6 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about Diddy's mom, who is being accused of hosting her own freak-off parties when Diddy was just a young man. DJ Akademiks calls out LeBron James for cheating on his wife. We broke that story last week. Who knows? Maybe Akademiks is watching the podcast. We are also going to talk to you about Mark Zuckerberg calling out Joe Biden. Megan Thee Stallion, Katt Williams calls out Jamie Foxx for having freak-off basketball parties. And Steven Twitch's boss's brother has a leaked phone call with Twitch's wife. In quick news, we are going to discuss TikTok, Donald Trump, Rolling Stones, Nene Leakes, Jim Jones, Sexxy Red, DDG, Shenseea, Beenie Man, Kanye West, and Mark Zuckerberg again. As always, we're going to close out the show with question of the day, social discussion, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Our first lead story. Freaky grandma. Diddy's mother allegedly threw her own freak-off parties at Diddy's house when he was growing up. All right, it looks like Diddy's mom may have been the one to inspire his freak-off parties. Diddy's home was the site of wild parties hosted by his mother, Janice, according to the new Peacock documentary, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. A longtime friend alleges that guests at these parties included infamous Harlem guys. All right, I'm sure you guys could figure out what that was. He claims it wasn't unusual to walk into rooms at Janice's parties where people were engaging in acts. The longtime friend suggested that these early experiences may have influenced Sean Diddy Combs in having his own freak-off parties that now he is on trial for, facing federal charges. The Peacock documentary explores Combs' upbringing in Mount Vernon, New York, where his mother sought to provide for him after his father was unalived in 1972. All right, for those of you who don't know, Diddy's father was an infamous street dude back in the 70s in Harlem. And Harlem was the mecca. Yes, things happened in Brooklyn and the Bronx and everything, but it really originated back in Harlem back in the day, especially in the 70s. Now, they say that his mother was wrapped up and involved in that life, and he was kind of like the head honcho, and that's where all the parties were at his place. I don't know if this really makes a difference. I mean, you guys let me know in the comment section below. It does speak to maybe where he got this activity from, but we have heard stories of basketball players or doctors or lawyers or everybody from different walks of life growing up in not the best conditions in England and New York, Canada, wherever. And we all had grown up and learned from our parents' mistakes and become better people. You know, like I said, doctors, lawyers, whatever, athletes. So I don't think this really lends to any sort of excuse. It does give merit to, you know, him having like a background or growing up in not great conditions. But what you learn in therapy is you got to put that stuff in the past and, you know, be a better person today. This documentary, from what I've been hearing, is not necessarily explosive of, oh my gosh, we're going to tell you guys everything that's going on. The documentary is really more about Diddy and the underbelly of Diddy, of how he became this, you know, dark kind of, you know, troubled person. So don't expect anything revealing, but for those of you who want to know the background of Diddy, this new documentary is going to tell you a bit about it. Like I told you guys, it really is not an excuse for me. It really doesn't change things in my opinion, but for those of you who are interested in knowing, this documentary is for you. I think it's debuting January the 14th. Yeah, the same time that Beyonce is debuting whatever she's debuting, but let's not even get into that. I talked to you guys about that last week, where for those of you who don't know, people are saying that Jay and Beyonce are trying to take some heat off of Diddy, and she's going to announce something the same day that this documentary is coming out. But that's just speculation. We don't know. But for those of you who don't know, now you know. Our second lead story, Akademiks claims LeBron James used to go on a two-man with Drizzy Drake. All right, Akademiks says that LeBron used to go to Canada for a two-man with Drake, who would provide the girls, and says LeBron has been cheating on his wife, Savannah James. All right, we broke this story last week, episode 416. We played a clip from a Toronto streamer, Friday, Ricky Dredd, shout out to Friday, and we kind of helped break this story. Friday had some guys on his podcast, and they were getting into a conversation about LeBron and how he used to come up to Toronto for Caravana, and how allegedly, don't send me no letters, LeBron and team, that he was allegedly out with Drake, and this is where he used Canada or Toronto kind of like his playground. Everybody knows that LeBron has this cookie cutter image that he's this great family man and his kids and Bronny, and he's so different from Michael Jordan and he's angelic. And Friday was talking about how that's just not the case. Being Canadian and from living in Toronto, I am from Montreal, but I've lived in Toronto for years. If you ask anybody in Toronto, this is not news to us. A lot of people were like DMing me being like, this is breaking news. Like, people knew this, but I think to Americans, it wasn't as known. I don't know what made Akademiks decide that he wanted to put this out there, and now it has gone on hit all the American blogs. I actually seen that it's actually hit mainstream media. Shout out to Roberta. She sent me a link from Yahoo. So it might cross over to like the mainstream media, where you might start seeing it on CNN or Fox or MSNBC or some of these sports telecasts. I know LeBron does not want that. He has been receiving some backlash for the past couple of weeks. We've seen him, go away for 10 days. We don't know where he is. The NBA said this was an excused absence. There's talk about him being in one of these lawsuits with Tony Busby. We don't know if they've had meetings. Who knows what's going on? This is definitely not going to help. I'm going to play the clip from Akademiks. Take a listen.
I talked to first in Canada. Yo, LeBron, you and Drake used to go on two-man. You've been cheating on your goddamn wife. Drake used to facilitate the host. Yes, if I'm Drake, I snitch on you too. You've been living a lie, and everybody been thinking you're the perfect guy. But when you come to Canada, I know some of the you with the white women you love. You don't even like black chicks. White women. That's why you in trouble, LeBron.
Now, this could be a couple of things. It could be Drake hitting up Ak and being like, yo, Ak, put this out there. We all know that Drake had the Fighting Irish freestyle that leaked, what was it, like a week or 2 weeks ago? Drake is clearly very upset with LeBron. So he could have seen my podcast, Friday's podcast, and it's like, hey, people are talking about it. Ak, can you if Ak gets into it, it's going to help push it to mainstream media. Who knows? Could be just Ak acting on his own. Who knows? But when Akademiks says something, it's definitely going to help it go even further and go global. We'll see. We'll keep following the story. We'll see if it picks up steam. I don't think LeBron is going to mention anything of it, but I'm sure, just like we talked about Jay-Z and Beyonce's household not being peaceful right now, I'm sure Savannah James has some questions for LeBron. We'll see if this continues and builds and becomes something bigger, or if it will just go away quietly. I'll keep you guys up to date and let y'all know. Our third lead story. Mark Zuckerberg accuses the Biden administration of trying to censor social media posts that revealed negative side effects of what was happening in 2020. All right, I don't want to say what the thing that was happening because I'll get like a little note at the bottom of YouTube, and then my video will be flagged. So you guys know what happened in 2020, all right? March 2020. CEO of Instagram and Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, officially accused the Biden administration of trying to pressure Instagram and Facebook into censoring social media posts that listed negative and revealing side effects of what was happening. Here's a little clip. Take a listen.
They basically pushed us and said anything that says that vaccines might have side effects to take down.
Who's telling you to take down things?
It was just people in the Biden administration.
All right. I don't want to go too in depth about that actual conversation. I know there's obviously going to be people on both sides as usual. The Biden administration, of course, is going to say, hey, we just wanted to take down false posts about what was happening. And what Mark is saying is, no, they wanted to take down negative posts where people saying, hey, this is not, what they want us to take is going to have side effects. So, but again, let's not get into that. More what I want to talk about is, why is Mark Zuckerberg talking about this now? Why didn't we hear about this 3 years ago or 4 years ago when this was happening? Shoot, 5 years ago when this was happening. Why now that the Trump administration, who is vastly different from the Biden administration, why is Mark all of a sudden now going on Joe Rogan and taking this a whole 160-degree turn? And I asked that sarcastically. We both know, or we all know, not both. I feel sometimes like it's a one-on-one conversation, but we all know why he's doing this. And it's kind of leaving a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Like Elon Musk, sometimes we have difference of opinion on how I feel about him, or I have a difference of opinion on how I feel about him. But one thing I can give him credit for is that he's one way and he sticks to it. Same thing with Trump. He's one way and he sticks to it. But Mark Zuckerberg, now all of a sudden, he meets with Trump and now he's taking off his fact checkers. It's going to be community notes. We talked to you guys about that last week. And all of a sudden now he's going on Joe Rogan and dragging Joe Biden and saying, oh, they wanted us to do this. They wanted us to do that. He's taking away all his DEI initiatives. Like, if you're going to be a CEO of a company, be one way and stay that way. Not if, because Trump is not going to have a second term, but what if the Democrats get into power in 4 years from now and they have their way? What are you going to do? Change and say, okay, well, you know what I like? I don't respect that. Be one way and stick to it. I just really don't like how Mark Zuckerberg is flipping and flopping, and people are calling it kiss the ring. Forget about that line. It's just you as a CEO and as the owner of one of the biggest platforms. And I'm going to actually I have something in quick story to tell you just how big it is, how big Meta is. I just think, my opinion, you have to be away and stick to it, and you can't flip and flop depending on who is in power. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our fourth lead story. Judge grants Megan Thee Stallion's restraining order against Tory Lanez. Meg testifies, says that she's fearful for his release. All right, according to reporter Megan, shout out to Megan, judge has granted Megan Thee Stallion's request for a 5-year restraining order against Tory Lanez. Megan posted and she said, Megan Thee Stallion tested via video a few moments ago. This was last week, by the way. This was on Friday. A few moments ago, in a restraining order hearing for Tory Lanez, she says she fears what will happen if he gets out of prison. All right. This happened literally like right after we wrapped our Friday show. So this might be a couple of days dated, but I wanted to give you guys some context because over the weekend, I saw people dragging Megan Thee Stallion online. Now, you can have your own opinion about Megan and this whole fiasco. And I am kind of on the fence about it because I love Megan and I understand where she's coming from. I do agree that she is overdoing it. But if you're going to have that opinion, I just want to give you context. So we all think a restraining order is, a restraining order means that this person can't come within 100 feet of me. And people are like, yo, why is she doing this? he's in jail for the next 10 years. Why do you need a restraining order? He can't get out. He can't get at you. A restraining order is so much more than that. It's just not proximity. It's you cannot talk about me. You cannot say stuff about me. There's a huge paper. There's a huge document. All right. I read it. So the fact that Tory Lanez is in jail talking about her, posting about her, making songs about her, that is what she wants to stop. Whether you agree with her or not, she wants that to stop. I want Tory to stop because it's hurting his chances of coming out. I just want that for him. He has maintained his innocence the whole time. And listen, I wasn't there, so I can't form an opinion, right? I followed the case and I still think that there's a lot of questions, and his appeal is actually coming up in a couple of weeks. And if he wants to have a chance at appeal, because his point is you're innocent till proven guilty, and he felt that because he was a rapper and because he had this, this negative connotation around him, he didn't get a fair chance. So, okay, get your chance at appeal. But dude, why do you have to be talking about her on songs? And he's allegedly paying podcasters and influencers to say stuff bad about her. Bro, just focus on the judge. Focus on the facts. And if the facts show that you should be released and you shouldn't be in jail, focus on that. So I just think it's stupid of him what he's doing to try to persuade the public's perception. I tell you guys all the time, a civil case, that's about money and public perception. Criminal charges, that's where he is charged and that's why he's in jail, has nothing to do with the public. The judge does not care what you or I think about him. The judge cares about the facts. If I were him, I would work on getting out of jail. And then when he does, then you could think about the public's perception. Anyways, just drives me nuts. I just want to give you guys context. Megan's restraining order is not stopping Tory from approaching her. It's stopping him from talking about her. And that's Meg's right. She feels like it gives her stress. It gives her anxiety. She does not want to have to deal with that, waking up every morning, hearing what he has to say. And she wants him to stop. The ironic part is it's not going to stop us from talking. And I'm sure that gives her just as much anxiety. So it's kind of like, doesn't make sense, but you can't tell somebody how to feel. And I would assume hearing from the person that allegedly did that to you is probably harder to deal with than hearing what I or you think. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Comment below. I really want to know what you guys think, especially now that you have the full picture and more context. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our fifth lead story. Katt Williams jokes about Jamie Foxx being a clone, and he reacts to Jamie Foxx's Netflix comedy special. He says that Jamie Foxx used to have basketball parties where people weren't fully clothed. Take a listen.
This is when I knew I was in love with Jamie. This was having butt-naked basketball parties. And I love basketball, but I don't love basketball with that.
All right, well, 2025 is officially here because Katt Williams is talking again. Side note for 1 second, if I may. I had told you guys a couple of times that Katt Williams is going to be back on Club Shay Shay. And from what I hear, they were actually supposed to put out the episode on Wednesday, which was, I don't know, I think like this January the 7th or the 8th. But because of everything that's going on in LA with the fires, they haven't put it out. If you know, Shannon Sharpe puts out an episode every Wednesday and he didn't put one out. So we might get Katt Williams this Wednesday, who knows? Or maybe that because there's still a lot of things going on, they might wait. But I have heard there is going to be a part 2. All right, let's get back on topic. Now, Katt Williams calling out Jamie Foxx. Look, it's nothing new. Is what Katt has done in the past, and of course, it's his new thing, right? So of course he's going to implement that in his special. The second thing is that it's not surprising. I've told you guys multiple times every time I talk to you guys about Diddy. Jamie has been known to be exactly like Diddy. I don't know about all of the other implications, the criminal stuff, but the fact of Jamie having these parties, that's a known thing. So Katt Williams calling him out, to me, is not shocking. To you, it shouldn't be shocking. Jamie is known for having these wild LA parties. Like I said, it's just not to the things that Diddy has been accused of trying to keep people there and all of the other stuff. You know, it's nothing wrong with having parties, right? But of course, it's just funny that, you know, Jamie now is trying to avoid this with his special, and now he's been called out. We'll see if this rolls into something more. When Katt Williams talks, people listen. So we'll see what happens with Mr. Jamie Foxx. Our sixth lead story. Twitch's brother leaks phone call with Allison Holker, claims she forced the family to sign NDAs. All right, Twitch's brother is exposing a phone call with Allison Holker where she allegedly demands the family to sign NDAs just to attend the funeral. All right, I thought we would be over with all of this talk with Twitch and his wife, but bombshell leaked phone call literally just leaked a few hours ago. We got a hold of it. Before I play it for you, I just want to give you guys a little bit of context. For those of you who don't know what's going on, you got to watch last week's episodes because it's so much to go into, but I'm sure most of you know. I dragged her all last week, and this leaked phone call has made me change my mind a little bit. I still think she was wrong for writing the book. I still think she was wrong for the things that she told us that nobody asked her about, and she just volunteered. Those were his private things. So I agree with the family being mad with her. I agree with all the backlash. And I told you guys, do not go and support her book. However, there is one small asterisk. We all dragged her for making his family sign NDAs to come to the funeral. With this leaked phone call, it kind of puts her in a little bit of a better light, because in the phone call, she tells us that Twitch made all of his family sign NDAs to come to parties over the years. So we assumed that this was the first time that his family ever signed an NDA. But in this leaked phone call that I'm going to play for you in 1 second, you'll hear her say, yo, Twitch made his entire family, his own mother, sign NDAs to come into parties at their house. So why wouldn't she make them sign NDAs to come to his funeral? Let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more on the other side. Take a listen.
It's cool to make his mama sign an NDA to see his body.
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God.
I would do it again. But also, just so you know, do you know that Steven has asked Connie to sign an NDA before? This was not her first time signing an NDA. Connie had to sign an NDA to go to one of our parties, and Steven asked her to sign it.
I don't know how I feel about this, man. Listen, I would never make my own mother sign an NDA to come to my house, to come to a party. But if Twitch did, then shouldn't his wife follow through with that at the funeral? I don't know, man. Listen, a lot of celebrities blanket makes people sign NDAs when they have house parties. That is a normal thing. If it's a get together where it's controlled, fine. But when you have, over 50 or 100 people, but I would still never make my mom sign an NDA. But if Twitch did, then if he's not here to decide if his mom or family should sign at the funeral, and his wife is like, shoot, I guess I'm just going to continue what he's always did, then should she be to blame for that? I don't know, man. I'm on the fence. Another thing that somebody said in the comment section was the fact that everybody had to sign an NDA and she didn't have to sign an NDA. It makes her be the only one that's allowed to talk about the funeral and nobody else is. So I don't know, man. I'm on the fence. But regardless, she's still wrong for everything else she did. She just might be off the hook, and we might just let the NDA slide. But you still did a whole bunch of other whack stuff that you still should be dragged for, and nobody should buy your book. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Send me emails, trendoutloud@cfqr600.com. This is an interesting one, man. Let me know. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. TikTok confirms it will shut down in the United States of America on January 19th. All right, TikTok has announced its plans to cease its U.S. operations by January the 19th, 2025, unless the Supreme Court intervenes to block or delay a law mandating its sale by its Chinese parent company, ByteDance. All right, so again, this also happened on Friday. And of course, we all knew that this was going to happen. I've really been reporting it pretty much, I think, almost every day, giving you guys updates. Donald Trump tried to help them. A lot of people tried to help them. And it looks like, hey, they are going to have to close down. We have let you guys know the close down. What it means is not that it's going to be erased off your phone, but it will no longer be able to be on the App Store, meaning that it won't be able to update in the background. So January 19th, the 20th, the 21st, you'll still see TikTok. You won't be able to upload. Well, Americans won't be able to upload anything. And it will still work, but eventually after a couple of weeks, bugs will happen and they won't be able to fix it. And then you won't be able to access TikTok. I do have another piece of news that TikTok, I think, was putting this statement out to kind of like get a feel for the Supreme Court. And after this came out late Friday, the Supreme Court put this out, and it says the Supreme Court signals its willingness to uphold the TikTok ban. The justices of the Supreme Court signaled Friday that they may uphold the federal law banning TikTok unless it divests itself to ByteDance, expressing skepticism of TikTok's opposition to the law during their oral arguments. So basically, they haven't ruled yet, but they're signaling that they are going to uphold. So just like with Tony Busby and Jay-Z and their lawyer, they put out these little things. Like that's what happens when you're in court. Like before there's a final decision, they put out little things to kind of check everyone's temperature. So it looks like they're going to uphold the ban. It looks like TikTok is saying, yo, if you guys want us to go, we're going to go. They're saying we will leave. The Supreme Court is saying, all right, y'all want to put out press releases? Y'all want to threaten us saying that you're going to leave? We just want to put out a signal to let you know we're probably going to uphold the ban. Doesn't mean that either side won't sell. It doesn't mean that the Supreme Court will uphold. They're both threatening each other right now. We still got, what day is it today? What's the date? We still got 7 days left. 7 days, 7 days left to see what will happen. Are you guys scared? My TikTokers out there, I know there's a lot of TikTok content creators. I'm not really big on TikTok. I don't post on there and I don't really use the app that much. I'm more of an Instagram guy, so this won't affect me. But like I said, I know a lot of content creators that this will affect. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our second quick story. President-elect Donald Trump gets no penalty in hush money case. As expected, President-elect Donald Trump has been granted an unconditional discharge in his New York hush money case. This outcome aligns with expectations set earlier in the week by the judge, who indicated that Trump would not face prison time, fines, or probation. The judge's decision reflects an acknowledgement of the principle of presidential immunity, which comes into effect on January the 20th, coinciding with Donald Trump's Donald Trump's inauguration. So I told you guys this last week. I don't know why Trump is making such a big deal about this. Nothing is going to happen to him. I just think it's more of like a technical thing that he now is technically a convicted felon. But you were technically convicted when the jury granted or agreed to the charges. So you were a felon before and you're a felon now. It doesn't make a big difference. This is just technical, and we knew nothing was going to happen to him. So not a big deal, but hey, Trump wins again. Nothing happens to him. Let me know what y'all think. Our third quick story. Rolling Stone names Beyonce's Lemonade album the greatest album of the 21st century. Yep, Beyonce is back at it again with yet another iconic achievement. Listen, y'all know I love Beyonce. I'm a small member of the Beehive, because some of y'all go too crazy out there. But yeah, big fan of Beyonce. Don't come for me. Big fan of her music. I understand that she's involved with the Jay and Diddy, or maybe involved. Y'all want to come for Beyonce, but I still like her music until further notice. But I hate these Rolling Stone things. Like, I feel like Rolling Stone makes these lists to kind of just like piss people off. Like, I don't have the full list here because I just don't want to even give them any more credit, but like, there's nobody really on this, and just throw Beyonce there. And I love Lemonade, but to being the best album of the 21st century, I don't know how I feel about this one, Ben. But yeah, like I said, I like Billboard lists because it's based on numbers. So I like that list. I like the Grammys because, you know, there's people in the music industry. There's a vote. Like, who is Rolling Stones? Who are these people who voted this? Who are you? Like, we don't know you, bro. Our fourth quick story. Nene Leakes responds to plastic surgery accusations and hints at getting more work done. All right, Nene Leakes is speaking out about her constant accusations surrounding her plastic surgery while appearing on Way Up with Angela Yee. Shout out to Angela. The reality star addressed the media's ongoing speculation about her appearance, despite her openness about previous procedures, including a augmentation and a mini BBL. She says, these people are always saying something about my surgeries. They just accuse me of so much, and then they accuse me of using filters. I think everyone uses filters. Nene continued sharing that she plans to get her breast implants redone soon, as she has had them in for over a decade, and hints at getting another procedure when she finds a doctor willing to offer discount in exchange for promotion. All right, I don't know too much about Nene Leakes. I don't even know which reality show she's on. If she's like keeping up with the Housewives or hip hop, so I don't get into that stuff. But I just don't really understand. If you've had plastic surgery and then people talk to you about plastic surgery, why do you get upset about it? Like, if people said you got a lot of work done and you just got a little bit of work done, what's the difference? Like, I understand if you got no work done at all and then people say, yo, you got a lot of work done, I understand addressing it. But if you say that you got work done, your boobs, your butt, you're this, you're that, and now, like, I just don't understand, man. Anyways, listen to the video.
I feel like I get accused of all the time having some kind of surgery. They just accuse you of so much, and then I got accused of using a filter.
These are the times I need a female co-host, but I will depend on the ladies in the comment section. Let me know what you think about Nene Leakes, and what do you think about this whole, like, plastic surgery commenting? If you've had work, should you just let people talk about it and not nitpick? Like, who cares? But anyways, I'm a guy, man. I digress. Our fifth quick story. Pink has always been my color. Jim Jones says that Cameron's iconic pink fur coat came from him and that he was the one who created the aesthetic for Dipset. I don't understand what Jim is doing and why we're still talking about this. This was from an interview. We talked to you guys about this last week, where he was talking about Cameron and Mace and how Mace was not really cool with Cam back in the day, or wasn't really cool the things that Mace did to Cam back in the day. He also talked about 50 Cent. Now the whole pink fur coat is going viral. Take a listen.
I created aesthetic for the diplomats. Dan and Cam's pink. Sooner or later, I had to tell it. Where he got the pink from.
Jim, you're starting to look bitter out here, bro. Like, we all know that Cameron had the pink fur coat. He had the pink Range Rover. Like, if anybody owns pink in hip hop, it's Cameron. And now all of a sudden, 20 years later, you're like, yo, that was all me. That was all my doing. How come we didn't hear about this before? Like, what's going on? If I feel like Jim is like, being cut out of a deal somewhere or something. Like, Jim is about his money. I tell you that. I know Jim Jones well. He's about his money. I feel like he was cut out recently of something, and that's why he's literally going on this rampage and literally trying to, like, ruin everything that they built with Dipset. I don't know what is going on with Jim, but you cannot claim that Cameron's pink was your pink, bro. That's Cam's color, dog. Our sixth quick story. Leon Thomas clears the air on his contribution on SZA's Snooze, letting it be known that he only produced the record. All right, Leon Thomas, known for his work as a singer and producer, has recently addressed rumors or misconceptions about his involvement in SZA's hit song Snooze. He took to social media and perhaps in an interview to clarify his sole contribution on the track as a producer. This means he was responsible for the song's instrumental arrangement, sound design, and possibly mixing, but he did not write the lyrics, sing, or contribute to any melodies. This clarification is significant in the music industry where credits can sometimes be misattributed or exaggerated, leading to confusion amongst fans about who did what on the track. All right, yes, this is a huge thing in the music industry. I could definitely attest to that. I have dealt with legal stuff where it comes to this. So I like that he's coming out and clarifying it and saying, listen, I was a producer. I maybe mixed, arranged, but I had nothing to do with the melody and the writing of it. I don't know if this was like some beef back and forth with SZA and him. I'm not too sure on that. It seems to me like it would be why he would just come out and clarify it. Or it could just be where it's more like SZA's fans were kind of like fighting on her behalf to say like, yo, this was SZA's song. She wrote it. This was her melody choices or whatever. Like I said, to the regular person out there, it might not seem like a big deal, but in the music industry, this is a huge deal. So it's really, what's the word I'm looking for? Like admirable that he came out and said this. And the article was wrong. He actually said this on The Breakfast Club. So anyway, shout out to Leon and shout out to SZA. Lately, there's been a lot of beef going on with SZA. She's saying that she wants to put out her next 2 albums and then go off and just not make music anymore. She's not working with Punch, her manager. I hope SZA is all right. This last 2 weeks have not been like positive news with SZA. I hope she's good. Anybody out there, tell SZA, I said, what's up? Tell her to call me, man. Our 7th quick story. Big money. Sexxy Red reveals she spent $30,000 on a new boob job. Sexxy Red is starting the weekend off with a new set of boobs, which she said she paid good money for. The rapper revealed that she dropped $30,000 on her new augmentation. Yo, there's nothing more to the story. Yo, she just was like, hey, just want to let you guys know, got a new job, and she like showed it off. I think she was actually on a live too with GloRilla. This is why I love Sexxy Red so much. Just like the story earlier about Nene Leakes, like, oh, I didn't get this. You guys are saying I got that. Sexxy Red is like, yo, I got a job. I have this job. I did all that. Like, she doesn't care. That's what I love her so much for. A couple of you guys dragged me in the comment section like, oh, she's not good for kids and she's not good for whatever. Like, listen. Parents, parent your children how you should decide what they should listen to. Sexxy Red is for adults out here, and I like Sexxy Red, all right? Shout out to Sexy. Our 8th quick story. SNL announces GloRilla and Dave Chappelle as their guest for January the 18th. All right, also, too, nothing to this story, just want to tell you guys, y'all know I'm a big Glo fan. I also like Dave Chappelle. I haven't watched SNL in years, but I'm definitely going to tune in this Saturday. Make sure y'all tune in. GloRilla, Dave Chappelle. It's going to be a good show. Our 9th quick story. DDG warns rappers about starting beef with streamers. All right, DDG says rappers should be wary about beef with streamers because their support goes hard. Take a listen.
The streaming supporters is not like rap supporters, bro.
All right, I don't know where this stems from, but I guess he was just on his stream, and I don't know why he brought that up. Shannon Sharp, last week or 2 weeks ago when he was interviewing Kai Cenat, he asked him the same question or similar question. He was like, yo, who do you think is bigger right now? Do you think it's rappers or do you think it's streamers? And Kai was like, I don't know. It's kind of the same, but he really more gave it to rappers. DDG is more saying like, hey, our fan base goes more for us when it comes to streamers. I like the fact that this is even up for debate. As a content creator myself, no, I'm not a streamer, but I'm a YouTuber. I have a YouTube show. It's basically the same thing. And I like that the conversation around entertainment is shifting. You know, back in the day, it was literally just celebrities. Or the celebrities was just like the movie, the actors and actresses, and people that were in music. And now it's kind of spreading out. You know, you can have your own channel. Like, look at what Shannon Sharp is doing. Look at what Stephen A. Smith is doing, and you can have your own kind of, base, like media base, on these platforms. So I think that is the bigger conversation, and not so much like who has the crazier fan base. I don't really care about that. I just like the fact that content creators and streamers are now respected or looked at in a different light than just journalists back in the day, if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Our 10th quick story. Shenseea breaks her silence on why she deleted her tweet that sparked online backlash. She said, I deleted the tweet because I love and support all women. I don't want y'all to think I'm discriminating against us. All right, so we actually put this in, I think it was our social discussion of the day, where Shenseea wrote and she said, hey, I don't know. Oh, she said, I never went through that phase when I was younger of being with a lot of people. And then Ruby Red retweeted that and she goes, yes, same thing. I don't know why people kind of glorify that phase in their life. We brought it up in social discussion. I asked you guys what you thought. And Shenseea is basically saying, hey, I just was telling you my point of view, and she wants to make sure that she's supporting all women, that if you have gone through that phase, that's fine. She's not judging you. I actually think it was Ruby Rose's tweet that seemed a little bit more non-supportive, because she wrote, yeah, same, ew, like as if to say like the girls that have done that are, not on her level or they're disgusting to her. But hey, celebrities got to be careful. You got to be careful what you say, and you got to stay universal even when you're saying your opinion. You could say your opinion, but you have to be careful not to make anybody else feel like their ways and their choices in life are wrong. You can have your opinion and live your life differently, but you can, you cannot be insulting to somebody else's way of life. So I'm happy she actually took that down, and give Shenseea a break. All right, she's Jamaican. I know it's not an excuse, but I love Shenseea. All right. Our 11th quick story, keeping it Jamaican. Beenie Man posts a video of Vybz Kartel calling him the king of dancehall. All right. I've talked about this for the past couple of weeks, ever since the Vybz Kartel Freedom Street concert that happened on New Year's Eve. And the argument has started, is Vybz Kartel the king of dancehall or not? I said it's an easy answer. It should be unanimous that Beenie is the king. He came before him. I mean, Beenie, I wouldn't go as far to say as invented dancehall, but he was a pioneer of dancehall way before Vybz. So he has to be the king. It's really simple. You can make Vybz the prince, but you can't have two kings. But Beenie said, he posted this, he said, straight from the horse's mouth. So what's the conversation about? Here's the video of Vybz in 2009, calling Beenie the king of dancehall. Here it is.
Beenie man, you're king of the dancehall when you come up with your mad belly.
Listen, when you're coming up, you'll say whatever to get on. You know what I mean? So I think Vybz, said that back in the day, and maybe he might change his mind. It's a good conversation. But if you ask me, king of the dancehall, Beenie Man. Our 12th quick story. Ye teases Vulture movie on Instagram. All right, we're not going to play a clip of this, but I'm going to put up like a little picture here so you guys can see it. It looks like a black and white movie, and it looks like, I don't know what he has going on. That's why I don't want to play it. Like, there's also these like suggestive, like weird things, and Kanye West is all about backlash and getting people like irritated. So I don't want to get in trouble and play any of the clip. But like I told you guys for the past couple of weeks with his first voice note and posting pictures of his wife, Kanye West is in album mode. He's back promoting. Now we know that he has an album, which I told you about 2 weeks ago before he even announced it. But this is just Kanye doing press. One thing, although I do give Kanye West a hard time, also important to note, Kanye West is fully independent. When he releases an album, he is making 100% of the profit. He's not on a label anymore. Don't forget, he was kicked out of Adidas. He was kicked off of all of these places for saying what he said. And now he is fully independent. I like that part. From being in the music industry for over 10 years, I know these horrible contracts that artists get. I would love to see more artists go independent. It has been talked about in the music industry. If Drake is successful with suing Universal and Spotify, and he does go out on his own, he could change the music industry forever. Michael Jackson has tried to do this. Prince has tried to do this. Little Richard. I mean, this has pretty much gone on since the inception of the music industry. I could literally go on about it for hours. I have a lot of friends that are in the business, and they really make no money. It seems as if, though, they make a lot of money, but they really don't. The Diddy's, the J's, and the Beyoncé's, yes, they make money, but they still make most of their money outside of music. Anyways, I will give credit to Kanye West for sticking by his plan of doing everything independent. So that I will at least give him credit for. All his Yeezy stuff, Adidas dropped him. He's still putting out his Yeezy products and his music independently. So I give him credit for that. Our 13th quick story. Kim Kardashian and Skims make sizable donation to Los Angeles Fire Department and Baby to Baby. All right, Kim Kardashian and Skims has donated to Los Angeles Fire Department and Baby to Baby, which also offers assistance to families. The famous Kardashian and her family were forced to evacuate their homes as the fire rages on in the Los Angeles area. It's unclear if their homes were damaged or lost altogether, which has been the case for many other celebrities. All right, so no, they haven't lost their house and it hasn't been damaged up until now, from what I know. Before I read to you what Kim posted about her donation, I just want to give you guys context, which you know I love to do. Now, when the fires first started blazing and people were covering it, people were talking and people were posting about it before it started being this global thing and it started going crazy, Kim was posting about a sale that she was having with Skims. That was the first day. The second day, there was like 3 or 4 fires. Then you started hearing about it, that it's out of control. Then the world started noticing. She kept on posting about her sales. It wasn't until like the 3rd or 4th day where people were like, Kim, this has turned into a major national thing. We need help. You know, Biden was talking about it. Trump was talking about it. Now they're sending aid. Then she started getting backlash. Now, on the 4th or 5th day, she's like, oh, I want to donate. So a lot of people, of course, happy that she's donating, but not happy that it took her close to 4 or 5 days. And while, you know, she's a LA resident and while it's happening in her own town, she's literally promoting a January sale on Skims. So we don't think this donation is genuine. We think it's because of the backlash. So she says, as our community faces devastation from the Los Angeles fires, our hearts are with all those impacted, and we are committed to helping during this challenging time. 5 days later, she said, we have donated to the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation, providing critical resources to the heroic first responders protecting our city. Additionally, we are making a sizable donations of underwear, clothing, and socks to Baby to help those displaced by the fires. So y'all let me know what you think. Like I said, at the end of the day, she is donating. I would like to know how much. What's a sizable donation, Kim? Are you giving $100,000? Are you giving a couple of $1 million? How much is sizable? I don't like that. And yeah, Kim, we would like to see this happen before you get backlash. Seeing that it's literally happening in your own backyard. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our 14th quick story. All right, the Quebec planes sent down to help the LA fires are actually down. I got this post actually from Arsenio Hall, weirdly. He posted a picture of the Quebec plane. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I am from Quebec, Montreal, Quebec. Shout out to whoever it is in Quebec. I don't know if it was a premier. I don't know who it was that sent out the planes, but shout out to them. But Arsenio Hall said, Howie Mandel, you and Drake's posse sent us Canadian Super Scooper planes, and somebody in LA with a drone crashed into it, and now they're out of commission until Monday. So anybody in Quebec that hasn't heard this, well, I'm sure you must have, but send more planes to LA because the ones that we sent down, according to Arsenio Hall, are no longer working. I don't know. I haven't heard this on any mainstream media, but send more help. All right, Quebecers. And by the way, shout out. I even put this on my Instagram. Shout out to everybody around the world who is helping with the LA fires. I actually seen that there's a bunch of Mexico firefighters, and I just love to see this, man. And I really feel good that, my own hometown all the way out here in Quebec from Montreal are sending down planes. We all need to come together and help those affected, man. Shout out to Quebec, Toronto, and any other Canadian province that is helping LA during this time. Our 15th quick story. Ye wants to link up with Kai Cenat in Japan. All right. Kai posted this up on his stream and he said, we went from beefing to being friends, and that Kanye West invited Kai to join him out in Japan. Take a listen.
I got a text from Ye. Ye said he in Japan and he said, I gotta pull up.
All right, for those of you who don't know, it wasn't like a real beef. Kai ordered something off of the Yeezy website, ordered jogging pants, and it was a size small, but they made a mistake and sent an extra large, and Kai was trying them on stream, and he was like, yay, you sent the wrong size. And then Kanye was like, don't give me bad press, don't say things you should call me, and then it started a little bit of beef. Anyways, Kanye is in album promo mode, and you know once Kanye is in album promo mode, all beefs are off and he needs to promote. So I'm happy that Kai has put this to the side. This smells to me like it's a paid promo. Personally, I don't know, but we'll see if they do link up in Japan. Our 16th quick story. BET president and CEO announces the reboot of 106 and Park. All right, I'm super excited about this. BET's president and CEO Scott Mills has announced that the network is in the process of rebooting 106 and Park for a new digital audience. He said, we understand people love 106 and Park. The fact that it doesn't work as a linear television show anymore doesn't matter. He says, we can bring 106 and Park back as a podcast. We could bring it back as a digital experience. Mills says that the reboot series will drop sometime in 2025 on the series' 25-year anniversary. This is super cool. I'm really excited about this. The 106 and Park days, the MTV TRL, that was big. Like he's saying, of course, it's not going to work in television format because back in the day, you used to like literally watch 106 and Park to see the debuts of videos. And now with the internet, you don't need that, right? And literally, artists talk directly with their fans on Instagram or lives or TikTok or whatever platform. So there's no need for 106 and Park. But I agree with him. You could bring it back as a podcast. You could bring it back as a YouTube show where we could watch it, on demand, how we're used to watching shows now. So I do like this. I wonder who the host is going to be, if they're going to bring back Terrence and Rosie. Would be super cool. Actually, you should bring back Free and AJ, like the original host. That would be super cool. Let me know if you guys are excited for 106 and Park to come back. Our 17th quick story. President Biden says, the economy I'm leaving America is the best in the world. All right, Joe Biden tells Americans that he's leaving office with the best economy in the world. He tweeted out this and said, the economy I'm leaving America is the best in the world and stronger than ever for all Americans. In 4 years, the economy created 16.6 million new jobs, the most of any single presidential term. In fact, there wasn't a month when the economy lost a job, another record for any presidency. He says the last month Americans lost job was the month before he took office. All right, this is Joe Biden being tone deaf once again. And before I say anything, as I say all the time when I talk about Donald Trump or when I talk about Joe Biden, I'm not on anyone's side. I am independent. But when Trump does something, I call it out. And when Biden does something, I call it out. Now, Biden might be technically correct, and technically those numbers might be true, but we all know why there was growth, and it's because what happened in 2020. And we all know that there's still inflation, although yes, it's down, but there's still inflation. We know prices are still sky high, and Donald Trump even said, man, I don't think there's anything I can do about it, although he campaigned and said that he was going to bring it down. Grocery prices are high, eggs are high, gas is high. So although the economy, yes, didn't go in a recession, and like I said, those numbers might be technically right, people are still feeling like it's not good. And I just don't understand why the Democrats don't understand that. That's exactly what, in my opinion, cost them the election, among other things. But leaving and saying numbers that are technically right, but are so off when it comes to the everyday American is the reason why Democrats are having such a hard time. Let me know what you guys think. Our 18th quick story. Mark Zuckerberg reveals that $3.2 billion people use a Meta service every day. During a recent appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast, Mark Zuckerberg revealed that 3.2 billion people use at least one Meta service app daily, highlighting the company's strength globally. In the same interview, Mark Zuckerberg discussed Meta's decision to scale back on moderation policies, emphasizing a shift on less restrictions. I have a clip. Take a listen.
Facebook, how many people use it on a daily basis?
3.2 billion people use one of our services every day.
Yeah, super cool stat. Like Joe Rogan said, that's like 1/3 of the world that uses one service from one company. Super good. Yeah, shout out to Mark. However, it doesn't negate the fact that I don't like Mark's flipping flopping. I really don't. If maybe this is how he was all the time, I don't like that he was pretending to be something another way. So I'm just not happy with Mark right now. I don't know. And like I told you guys last week, I'm very nervous to see what Instagram is going to be like now that we don't have a fact-checking department and it's just community notes. I really hope Instagram doesn't turn into the Wild Wild West. That's what I don't really like about Twitter. Again, I like free speech, but I don't like what can I call it? Like wrong speech. Like don't say things just to say it, and the fact that that's going to live, like I feel like that could be really dangerous. Yeah, and I really love Instagram, as you guys know. So anyways, shout out to Mark on the achievement. 3.2 billion people per day is amazing, but be careful out here, man. The changes that you're making, the flopping that you're doing, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years with social media and Instagram. Our 19th quick story, talking about apps. I thought you guys would be interested in this. Black-owned fan base app rises in popularity amid looming TikTok ban and Meta content shift. All right, with TikTok possibly leaving the US for good and Meta rolling back its necessary DEI measures, the fan base app is growing in popularity. On Saturday, the fully Black-owned app ran by Isaac Hayes III achieved number 42 amongst all apps in the Apple iOS store. Hayes expressed his gratitude in a video on Instagram while encouraging others to check out Fanbase. He says, as far as I know, this is the only independent founded social media app that there is out there. I'm actually having a little moment right now. Let's go to the clip. Take a listen.
This clip is crazy. This is currently the App Store, all the apps. We're currently like number 42 behind X.
Isaac also went on to clarify that while Fanbase is 42 amongst all apps, that amongst social media apps, Fanbase ranks number 8 in download. So shout out to Fanbase. Let me know if any of you guys have ever used it or downloaded it. I downloaded it a couple of months ago. I was using it, but kind of just forgot about it because I just went back to Instagram. But I still have the app. Let me know if you guys use it, your experience with it. You're able to download everything from your Instagram and put it there, so you're not starting out at zero, which was really cool. But let me know if you guys use it, and let me know if I should start using it more. Are you guys on the app? Let me know. And Mark Zuckerberg, watch out. There's other apps popping up. Be careful with your flip-flopping. As you can tell, I'm really mad at Mark Zuckerberg right now. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. NBA star Jimmy Butler slams baby mama's $55K child support demand. He said, "You're not entitled to be an NBA wife." All right, Jimmy Butler, who's an NBA star, is currently engaged in a legal battle over child support payments. Butler asserted that the $55,000 that he pays monthly is adequate to keep up with his 3 children. However, his ex-partner is demanding an additional $10,000 per month on top of the existing child support. Butler's legal team emphasizes in court that since Butler and the children's mother were never married, she should not expect to live as if she was married to an NBA player. This dispute underscores the ongoing complexities in child support negotiations. All right, so I wanted to bring this to the discussion, to the daily discussion. It's kind of hard for me to weigh in on this because I don't have kids and I'm not a woman with child support. So I'm putting this to the women in the comment section. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually, or I don't know how you would know, but I actually have a bigger women following than actually men, 70%. So that's why I put a lot of these female discussions for my larger female audience. So I I'll try to answer it, to be fair, just to give you my point of view. But I think that like 55 or 65 is not that much of a big deal. And what does the $10,000 have to do with the fact of her not being a wife? Bro, she has 3 of your children. You know what I mean? Like, she has 3 kids. And I just think that if she is asking that and she has reason to ask that, then your excuse for saying no shouldn't be, well, we were never married. Like I said, if she has paperwork to say, hey, I spent this, and this, and this, and I need an extra 10, you should give her the extra 10. And your excuse, if there is an excuse, should be, well, no, because I pay for school, I pay for this, you only need 45. But how can your excuse be, well, we were never married, so you shouldn't expect that? Like, I just feel like that's whack. But y'all let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Men and women weigh in, of course, too, but I definitely want to know what you ladies have to think about this topic. All right, this brings us to question of the day. What's your I'm too old for this moment from this past year? All right, eGuard82 says, explaining myself to people, I'm 41, leaving me alone. I totally feel you on that. I'm not explaining myself to nobody but my immediate family. Somebody said, listening to gossip, found myself tuning out. I can feel you on that. But gossip is a little bit fun. I mean, listen, I do have a podcast where we do talk about gossip daily. So, I would be hypocritical to say I don't listen to gossip, but I don't get into gossip about like, friends and family stuff. That I don't like the gossip in. So I hear you. Somebody says being in the club. Totally disagree with that. I feel like you should be going to the club partying at any age. I've always talked about that. Like ever since like, not ever since, but I feel like when people turn like 25, 26, they're like, oh, you shouldn't be in the club anymore. Like, what are you talking about, man? I am going to be in the club. I've said this. I'm going to be in the club till I'm 80, 90 years old. If y'all will have me, you know what I'm saying? If y'all let me come in there with a cane. I love music. I love partying. I love dancing. It's something I love to do. And I just don't think that there should be an age limit on enjoying yourself and having fun. That's just my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you are going to disagree with me. Somebody said, I'm 42 years old with a 1-year-old and I enjoy every day. All right, that's not really answering the question. Another person said, worrying about what other people think. Totally agree. Another person said, being annoyed with my neighbors playing loud music. That's definitely an old person thing. All right, what else? Standing in line to get anywhere, for sure. But I've always been like that. I don't care. Like when I go to like amusement parks or whatever, I always buy speed passes. I cannot stand traffic or I can't stand waiting in line. Somebody said keeping up with new slang terms. I feel you on that because sometimes it gets a little bit crazy, but you got to be up to date. You know what I mean? Somebody says worrying about what other people say about me and how they feel. Woo! That's something I'm on heavy. Now, I've never worried too much about what people say to me, like on social platforms or whatever, because I'm in the public eye, so it's fine. But I used to not worry, but I would not like, people's opinion that were close to me. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't care. Even if you're my family, I don't care, dude. Like, I don't. Seriously. Unless it's like my immediate family, my mom, my sister, my nieces and nephews, I don't care. Somebody says watching certain stuff that no longer interests me. Well, why would you ever do that? Somebody says club hopping. I already know about that. Somebody says, I tried to watch BET Hip Hop Awards. No, I'm too old for this. I feel you on that. Sometimes I'm like, yo, bring it to back in the day, yo. Well, hey, 106 in Park is coming back. All right, that is it for the old people moments. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What old people moment have you had this past year that was like, yo, I'm too old for this. I can't take it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to sports news. Lamar Jackson said, if we win the Super Bowl, I'm going to number 1. This was his remarks on changing his jersey number once he wins the Super Bowl. I have a little clip. Take a listen.
No, but I already told Miss Megan, I said, we win the Super Bowl. I'm going to number 1.
So yeah, Lamar is saying that he wants to do this because he was number 1 before. And when he got into college, number 1 wasn't available. So he had to go to number 8. Listen, every time I talk about football, I tell y'all, and we're in the playoffs, Lamar, I love you, bro. I love you, man. And I'm rooting for you, just not this year. Let Patrick Mahomes get his three-peat. Nobody has ever done that in the history of the NFL. I need him to have this record over Tom Brady. Please, please let him win. And then next year, trust me, I will root for you every day on this podcast. Just give Patrick Mahomes one more win, please. All right, y'all. That is it for my Monday show. I love Monday shows because there's always so much going on in the weekend. I can deliver you guys a big show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Before I let you guys go, I just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the podcast. If you are used to listening to this show or watching this show on YouTube and listening to it on podcast platforms, please try to check me out Monday through Friday from 11 to 12 on CFQR600.com or 600 AM in the Montreal area. We do play the Trend Out Loud podcast, but we mix it in with 90s and 2000s hip hop and R&B. It's a great hour. It's a great way for you to get your entertainment and viral news while listening to your favorite hits from the 90s and 2000s. And I selected music, so you know it's going to be dope. Vice versa, if you're used to listening to the show on CFQR 600, and you can always catch the show between 11 to 12. We get it. You're busy. You got things to do. I'm going to give you 3 ways to keep up with the show. The first is on CFQR600.com. When you click Listen Live, there's another tab that says Listen On Demand. You click that, you get access to all 418 episodes. The second way is, of course, on YouTube. We upload daily. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, and comment. Thirdly, and lastly, we are available on all podcast platforms. Just go to your desired site, type in Trend Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. You can follow me on any social platform. It's always the same handle, Trend Out Loud. Don't forget to follow the media company, Exclusivity Media, on Instagram. For those of you who are tuned in to CFQR 600 right now, do not touch that dial because my homeboy, Don Smooth, is coming up next with the lunch mix from 12 to 1, and Don is always dropping the hits. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I hope this helps you get through your Monday. I'll see you for Tuesday's episode. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trend Out Loud. Peace.